Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your September solar session. I am Marlo. If you are new, my voice is still jacked up. And if you are family, welcome back, my friend. If you're not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of giving you clarity, insight, and guidance and all that good stuff. And whatnot or whatever. So first card out, we have the Two of Swords. Then we have the Six of Wands in the reverse. And then we have the Sun card in the reverse. So what it is looking like, Pisces, coming into September from August is more or less looking like you guys are in, I would call it a seeker energy. It's feeling in some sense or another that you guys may have gotten disconnected or out of alignment with yourself or your process or your journey in some sense or another. For others of you, it could be recognizing if you're very personal development focused. It could be kind of realizing that maybe something that you went through, there has been some sense of disconnecting from your heart space, like being more logical as opposed to emotional, because of there being something emotionally disappointing and that being kind of like a defense mechanism type of deal. But that would be, like I said, more along the lines for someone who's very aware and very invested in their personal development type of deal. But for others of you, I feel it's very much being, I want to say in a meditative state, but I mean, all of you may not be literally meditating, but it's kind of doing some inner work or some inner exploring, trying to figure out how things kind of got off track. Now, the next two cards are the Six of Wands in the reverse and the Sun card in the reverse, which is Leo energy. So in some sense or another, it's almost feeling like one can't, okay, how do I say this phrase? One can't win for losing. I never did understand how that worked. And I mean, worst case scenario would be kind of feeling like a failure. It's kind of losing sight of one's efforts. It's kind of putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into something and not really seeing the fruits of that, or feeling like the amount of effort that you're putting in isn't necessarily warranting the return that you desire. And of course, I always say with the Sun card, it's a form of like half-hearted happiness. So it's similar to what I said with Aquarius, I believe, where there's a level of gratitude for what one has and for what one has accomplished, but it's feeling almost as if something is missing. So in the very like superficial surface level sense, everything is in place, you know, you're able to pay your bills, you know, you have people around you that love you, but it's still kind of feeling like something is missing. The thing that I can say that's extremely positive with this Two of Swords is the fact that you guys aren't necessarily looking outside of yourself to heal this disconnect. It's the fact that you guys are going within to try to see, like, where did I kind of get off track? Did I sidestep from the path or what have you? The next card that we have is the Six of Swords in the reverse. The next card that we have is the Six of Cups in the reverse, which is interesting, because this now also puts you guys into the same transition that everyone is going through in the month of September, somewhere around the second to third week of the month. And I still have not looked up the date that Mercury goes retrograde, but I feel that that has a great deal to do with it. It's kind of the thing that kind of comes up, if we were to look at this, like I've been saying for everyone, literally as the triggering event that happens somewhere between the end of the first week to the second week of September. And it brings up something that's kind of been existing underneath the surface in all of us, like in our subconscious, shadow aspects, however you want to perceive it or label it. But it has very much to do with a perspective kind of thing. With the Six of Swords in the reverse and the Six of Cups in the reverse, that says to me that it's something less than stellar, something negative or toxic perspective speaking that's linked to one's past, that's tainting your perspective of the present. So even if, let's say how our perspective works, this proverbial Six of Wands in the reverse, which is a card of victory, and the Sun card in the reverse, which is a card of, full on, happiness, standing in your truth, fully aligned type of deal. In reality, both of these cards could be upright, proverbially speaking, meaning you are victorious and things in your life are grand. However, our perspective, which would be represented by this Six of Swords in the reverse and the Six of Cups in the reverse, right? Negative or glass half full perspective that is linked to our past is what causes us to see the Six of Wands upright and the Sun card upright as the reverse, if that's making sense. So it's seeing a situation in which everything is great and you are victorious, as a situation in which you're a failure and something is missing, right? And that can all happen from our perspective. But still, the thing that I say that's working in you guys' favor is the fact that you're coming into the month in the energy of more or less this begins and ends with me. It's not necessarily looking and thinking, oh, it's my boss, or it's my job, or it's, my friends. It's like, in some sense or another, I've, disconnected, I've gotten off track in some way, shape, or form. And how can we heal this disconnect? So that's most certainly a positive thing, because it puts you guys in a position of power of your situation. And oh, good Lord, it puts you guys in a position of power in your situation and not at the will of it. Now, the next card that we have is the Hermit in the reverse. And this is something that I would warn against, Pisces, is you guys are coming into the month in a very meditative, self-reflective state. The thing that you don't want to do is getting into this Hermit in the reverse is completely self-isolating, because another theme that's been coming up for all signs this month is this level of balance. So it's really understanding the difference between solitude and isolation, right? Solitude is something like you're an introvert, you got to take a step back to kind of clear your energy, to recharge, and then you go back to life. So it's a temporary kind of thing. When we start thinking about solitude, this is, you taking too much personal responsibility. It's like you take time, you meditate to get clarity, or you're doing some inner seeking to get insights into your situation, but it's like not coming up with anything. Hypothetically, not saying this is literally happening with anyone, but say that you're going within to try to find this disconnect within yourself, and you still have trouble kind of clarifying what that is, not really seeing where it is that you got off track. And as opposed to making the decision to reach out, which would fall into the dynamic of what I've been telling everyone this month anyway. This happened a few months ago, where it's like every single sign that I did, everything was leading back to like, now would be a good time to see a therapist kind of deal. Doesn't have to be me, you know what I'm saying? But because we have the link for BetterHelp in the description box below, just saying, throwing that out there. But anywho, but it doesn't, it's more or less like taking, let me say it this way. You're in a balanced place in the beginning of the month, and the fact that you're starting with you as opposed to looking within, as opposed to without first, right? But it's going within, still not getting that clarity. And as opposed to saying, okay, let me bring someone else into my process so I can get another opinion, it's going even deeper within yourself and isolating everyone and saying like, no, I can't go out, I can't talk to anyone because I need to figure this out first. You know what I'm saying? Because specifically looking at a negative perspective on life, like looking at pessimism or the glass half full, if you will, half empty. And this coming from like past like childhood type of stuff, it's a little difficult to come to that realization on your own. And even in the event that you did, it's not really knowing how to shift that process, because it's having this perspective for so long. it's kind of interlaced into your perspective and your thought process in a very insidious kind of way. So even though sometimes you can call yourself out on it, it's kind of difficult to see it like 360 degrees. So that's where having a therapist is helpful, because it's someone who kind of understands your situation and can reflect back to you so you can see in every facet of your life how that's kind of showing up, or how it's kind of hidden in your language, you know what I'm saying, with certain ways that you say things of, if this works out, or, whatever the case. So the thing that I would say I would warn against is with this Hermit in the reverse is making sure that you guys don't completely isolate yourself. Solitude is good. That's how you guys are coming into the month, but you don't want to get too obsessive trying to find clarity that you end up isolating, because I feel this is one of those months where it's good that you're integrating the whole, personal responsibility thing, but sometimes we do need to bring other people into our process. So just keep that in mind this month. Now, at the bottom of you guys' deck, we have the Death card. That is Scorpio energy. So this is, of course, much like everyone else in the collective, this is the ending to a cycle. And I feel specifically the cycle that we're speaking about is what the entire collective is going through, is pretty much these old wounds that we've been carrying with us for eons. It's those coming to the surface for us to kind of dead them once and for all, so it can free you up to move forward into this new cycle without any excess baggage. So this is a huge stop and start. It's a transformation. It's a new beginning for you guys, Pisces. But that has been your reading for September, Pisces. I'm going over to my network, to Vimeo, to Patreon, everywhere that it is that I'm at, YouTube members, all that good stuff, to do you guys extended reading. And the thing that I did differently is I'm going week by week to give you guys insights week by week. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. If not, I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, Pisces.